Sparking Change for Harmonious Living is a TV show that inspires action. It motivates you to start a journey towards a more balanced, fulfilling life. This show explores well-being through spirituality, mental clarity, and physical health. It covers topics like mindfulness, nutrition, fitness, and spirituality, giving you practical advice to enhance your life. Tune in for a transformative adventure that ignites the change you seek.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. I am your host, Giovanna Tartarone.
And I'm your co-host, Ahmed Ahmed.
Welcome, everyone. In today's topic, we're going to be talking about nurturing the wisdom within, right? And nurturing our inner guidance to really help us live more harmoniously with peace and happiness, because that's the only time that we know that we are feeling our best. So, Ahmed, we'd like to go into just really understanding that inner guidance that I call God. Some people call it infinite intelligence, the universe. I always fall upon my inner wisdom to make decisions in life, especially the hard
Well,
decisions.
absolutely. And you mentioned a key word, and that was nurturing,
Mm.
right? You see, you can cultivate anything in your life.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter, uh, where you are at the. And of course, when you talk about inner guidance, as you've mentioned many times before, it's how we use our intuition and how important it is for us to nurture our intuition. I'm sure everybody had experienced their intuition at a certain point. Some people probably more frequently than others, but why is it that way for others? Well, you have the majority of the people completely not in alignment where they could be receptive to hear messages through their intuition.
I truly feel that, those messages, if you're not listening, will come again and again and again until you begin to listen, because they're meant for you to take action, right? They're meant for you to stay on path to feeling good. And when we're not listening, we're not feeling good.
Yeah, absolutely. It's um, any state of feeling you're in, that is the best indicator to know which vibration or which side of the
Right.
vibration you're at, right? So at what rate are you vibrating? Are you high? Are you low? If it doesn't feel good, you need to do that mental adjustment. You need to do that mental housekeeping, and then the emotional side as well. So main thing is when people are not in alignment, they're usually not in a state of surrender. You see, there is three main states of the self, which I like to call it. There is the ego self. This is a
Mhm.
person who doesn't want to listen. Anything random thoughts may come up. He may be shrewd. He may be, going after every little thing that he desires in a lavish way without considering what's right or wrong, right? But then we have conscience. So if your conscience are not there to stop you from doing wrong, but it will not let you enjoy it. So when a person um, how can I say, deliberately remains and maintains that ego state. Now, I'm not talking about people that have a healthy ego. There's a very distinct line between
Sure.
having a healthy ego and an ego problem. So here I'm referring to those that have an ego problem. So when they do something wrong, they end up in a different state, which is the state of the inner struggle. This is where they have resentment. This is where they have guilt. This is where they have shame. So it's like in that inner struggle, it's they have a certain amount of bad habits that they want to get rid of. They're not doing it, but then yet they want to receive the blessing. Now remember one thing. How how do we speak to God? We speak to God through prayer. And how does God speak to us? Through intuition.
Intuition.
And then you have this body, which is, well, a lot of people, they like to call it as your temple. You have to look after it, right? So, as much as there is a cleansing process that have to be made, while you are truthful and honest with yourself and your intentions and your deeds, and you just go in a state of surrender, or until you maintain another third state, which is called the state that is serene. And right there, the mind is calm, the heart is calm, and you can sense these pulses like you've never heard them before. It just comes to you. It's like anywhere you are in your life at any given stage of whatever you're doing, or if you're, working towards an objective,
Hmm.
this inner guidance sheds the light that gets you closer to your northern star, your goal, right? And it warns you. They call it the gut feeling, right?
Of course.
Let me tell you something. Your brain is the highest concentration area for the neurons that you have in your body. The second highest concentration is in your gut, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm feeling upset, my gut doesn't feel too good, right?
Right.
And if my gut is not feeling good, then I'm not thinking right.
Love that. That is so true. So true. So true. And we all have that that gut feeling when we walk into a room, right? Whether it's good energy, bad energy, or a gut feeling of it feels good. It feels doesn't feel good.
And here's the thing: maintaining sustained consecutive good thinking, along with maintaining a sustained
Hmm.
consecutive good feeling, right? And maintaining an honest relationship with myself in
First.
relations to God, I feel that I deserve to hear through my intuition, right? I know I'm connected. I pray all the time. I know I'm doing my thing.
Hmm.
I'm leaving everyone with the impression of increase. I think good of others. I remember good things about others. So what happens is, it's not kind of a sound that you hear. It's not kind of someone talking to you directly, right? Or it's words or anything, but it's an understanding. That understanding comes to your heart. When you calm your mind and heart and you
Hmm.
dwell upon God and do God's work in any shape or form, it doesn't matter where religion you come from, it doesn't matter, right? Spirituality is universal.
Right.
So you will reach to a place of understanding. Like the intuition comes in a form of understanding. In the Kabbalion, there is a beautiful phrase that can relate to this. It says, "The lips of wisdom are closed except to the ears of understanding."
So
And
beautiful.
how does that happen? Because you listen with your heart, you listen with your emotions, you're listening through the reception of the divine light in a vibrational way. And that's how you get to understand something. And you know where it's guiding you, because your emotions will give you that extra sensory factor that you require in order to propel you forward to where
To
you want to
take
go
the appropriate action. Yeah.
and take the
So
appropriate
beautifully
action.
said. There's a part of understanding how important it is to let go and surrender. Because when
Well,
we don't
here,
do that, right?
yes.
Disarmament,
If
we're in disharmony. Yeah.
if you don't let go and transcend what's happened to you, what's outside of you, your environment, none of that matters. None of that matters. You see, there are almost half a dozen universal laws,
Mm-hmm.
and they've been set there by the Creator that if we abide by their rules and conditions, that we can maintain alignment. There is a very beautiful quote that I love. It says, "Nothing like acting according to the commandments causes man's prosperity and sublimation." Now, what does it mean by sublimation? It means I surrender to a power that's greater than myself. Yes, I am here, I'm existing, just same as everyone else, but where did we all sprint out from? Let's not forget that. And wherever you sprinted out from, you're also a minute expression at the spiritual level from the source. So, whenever you're in attunement with your higher self and you keep on nurturing this side, this holy practice, your intuition will start to awaken when the heart has softened. The heart starts to unfold and open up like a beautiful rose or a flower.
Beautiful. So let's talk about some ways that they can, some tips we can share to, open the heart, surrender, listen to that voice and the guidance so that we can truly, embrace this beautiful life, right? We're all given this beautiful gift of life. And
Absolutely.
yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, I know, one of them is through practice, right? I do the discipline camp every morning, get up at 5:30, and I make it a priority to connect every morning. But let's talk about other ways. And we
Well,
said, quiet the mind, right? To quiet the mind. How can we quiet the mind?
for me, I like to listen to soft music quite a bit.
Okay.
And I make sure that when I listen to music, I listen to the solfeggio frequencies. There are certain healing frequencies out there, and there are seven of them, as far as I recall. And each one is relating to different areas of the chakras.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, we're an electromagnetic beings. We are electromagnetic beings, right? We're all made up of the same stuff, just like anything else out there. It's made up of energy. But when there is harmony on an energetic level, right, the body starts to respond to it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Your emotions start to respond to it. The way that you start to look at life, you'll shift your perception along the way with it,
Right.
right? So music and meditation are amazing tools that you can use to start with. There are some people that have taken it a little further. There was a scholar by the name of Imam Ghazali, and he stated that for those that want to get closer and to cleanse, there are three different kinds of fasting. And if you look at all the prophets through history,
Mm-hmm.
one way that they managed to maintain this holy connection is that they used to go fasting either 30 or 40 days at a time.
Wow.
They used to go in a state of isolation at times, right? Because it's a very personal decision. That connection is very personal to you as a person because you are the individual observer of your life and your reality that you live in. So it's a direct communication that can never be severed in any shape or form, regardless of whatever you may think of it. God is always present, by the way. So, regarding the three different types of fasting, Imam Ghazali stated that the first type of fasting, which is the normal type of fasting, is to abstain from food and water throughout, you know, morning to from sunrise to sunset.
Mm-hmm.
And he said this is just the initial stage. right? This is mainly, it focuses on the body. And then he said the second type of fasting, which is slightly higher in terms of benefits and rewards that you may get, is not only to abstain from food and water from sunrise to sunset, but also abstain from doing anything wrong and not to speak anything wrong. So, in terms of foul language and bad actions.
Right.
And he says this is the second stage. He said, but the ultimate stage for a person during the fasting phase for a whole month is to abstain from any kind of wrong thinking, including the first two levels.
Wow. That's
So
amazing,
not
right?
this
Think
this
about it.
yeah, this is something that not many people can do. Why do we have a very small percentage of people who are highly in harmony and in tune, and they also earn a lot of money along the way? It's because they have managed to take possession
Of their
of their
mind.
mind and control it to whatever ends and direct it to whatever ends they desire.
And that's exactly what Napoleon Hill teaches us. Is when we do take possession of the mind, then we're in control. We're
You're
in
always in
control.
control, but are we maintaining this conscious knowing that we are in control? That's why we need to remind ourselves. Human beings have a tendency to sort of forget momentarily, or we like to call drift, right? For some
Or
people, that
drift,
they
yeah.
drift.
Mm-hmm.
But this is why studying is so important, right? Like I've experienced what it's like to study continuously all the time in order to maintain this level of mindset. The days that I have not been studying, I swear, it's like the things that I'm trying to remember, the kind of information starts to slip away.
And all these
You know,
thoughts come in your mind, right? That
yes.
they creep
It,
in, and that's where we lose the connection.
your subconscious is like a container. If you're not consciously filling it up every day with the things that you want to strengthen, it will fill itself up with whatever it can get out of your environment. And whatever pours out from once it's full is what you're going to get as an experience. Bob Proctor, our late mentor Bob Proctor, mentioned, and he said, if you don't study every day, whatever you have accumulated will go away as quick as it came. I don't think I want to go back to where I used to be,
Right.
right? So it's always, how can I improve a little bit more today than where I was yesterday? And you keep building, you keep building. It doesn't matter what results you have. As he always said, he said results should always be under construction. So, as you were mentioning, Sister Giovanna, when you talked about nurturing this inner guidance, it's a lifetime of practice every day.
Was.
Small, consistent steps over time in this proper direction will produce huge results.
And it's also because you're following, you know, all the success that you have on the outside is really a reflection of what was going on inside.
It's always like that. You see, you are a living projector, and your entire world is a reflector.
That's why we say you create your reality.
You create your reality. The primary reality is within your imagination, and the secondary reality is the physical expression. We become, as Earl Nightingale stated, what we think about all day long. What are you entertaining in your mind and heart today? Reason with it. Question yourself. The difference between where you are and where you want to be is just a decision away. It doesn't take much more effort to
So
reach
good.
much higher in life than to accept poverty and misery. It's just a decision away. You
Yeah.
talk about,
I'm sorry. Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I like that. Go ahead.
You talk about, yeah, I can't do it. I'm not talented. I don't have this ability. Well, the question is, are you willing? If you're willing, the ability can be acquired. As long as you're willing, nothing can stop you.
When we say having faith in doing the things that you think you cannot do, it's believing in yourself, believing that that little voice that's speaking to you is for your higher self, is for you to bring out the best version of you so that you can experience greater things in life,
Yes.
right?
And
And
and I remember. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I remember one time Bob was saying, he said that we originate thoughts in our mind, we send it to spirit. Spirit sends us the messages through intuition on which direction to go,
Yep.
and we listen, we take action upon it, and then at the same time, as we are being guided, God or spirit is also preparing all the experiences for us to receive.
I'm going to share a personal story that just came to mind. It was Mother's Day, and many of my viewers know that my mom passed away in 2000. And this was a few years back. We are driving, and I get in my car, and I turn the car on, and I see that it is 206. And I'm a science teacher, and we know that we have 206 bones in our body. And I had 206 miles left before I went empty.
Wow.
So we're driving, and I'm picking up my husband, and we're going to have dinner at my niece's house. And we have dinner, everything's great. I'm like, but I should play 206, the lotto, right? I should play it because it just appeared too many times. So we get to a gas station, there is no lotto machine. When we celebrated and we got back in the car to come home, I turned the car on, and 206 appears again as like how many miles I have to empty. And I'm like, that is not true. We just drove almost 45 minutes to an hour. I should have had less. I'm like, that's it. I really have to play the lotto. This is a message. This is my intuition saying, just play the lotto. So of course, we're not gamblers, and I played 50 cents straight and 50 cents box on a Sunday evening, right? Well, Monday, we're at a diner. And I said to my son, I go, can you check to see what the numbers are that came out? So he checked, and he's like, mom, look, 206 came out. And my husband's like, where's the ticket? And my son is like, how much did we win? How much did we win? It was no big deal. It was like $500. I was in tears, just knowing that little hunch, that little voice that said, just play it, just play it, just play it. And I followed it. It was just a miracle to know how messages do come through us. And, Cleona calls it a hunch when you get these hunches. If you take action, there is a reward in there. There is a reward for believing in the unseen. And that's exactly what happened to me.
And I
Right?
love the synchronicity that you had. And even though these hunches, they come in a way that it doesn't seem to make sense to you, right? But as
Mm-hmm.
Cleono mentioned, she says, if you don't act on it quickly, you're gonna have an angered manifestation later.
I agree. Yeah, I wouldn't have won
So
$500, right? It's so
yeah,
true.
so as long as you maintain that inner peace, right? As long as you stay focused with only to think of things that you do want and off the things that you don't want. As long as you know that you are continuously making the mental and emotional adjustments, just quiet your mind and heart enough to listen and get awake for at least half an hour a day for a whole week. Keep the electronics on the side and just write on a piece of paper, what are the ways or the things that I can do to get me closer to where I want to be? Do this every day. Trust me, the answer will pop up into your conscious mind as a gift from your subconscious, and you'll get to feel it.
I truly believe every question, the answer lies within. The answer lies within. Every question you may have, when you tap in, you will get the answer that you need. The answer is not outside of us. No matter what you're doing, no matter what you're working on, it's your inner voice that leads you to happiness. Nothing outside of us. We're going to take this to a landing. Just a final thought is that we all have intuition. It's for everyone. No one's excluded.
You just have to nurture it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you everyone for joining us on Spark and Change for Harmonious Living. And we will see you next week. Have a wonderful weekend.
See you all next week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me on Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. I hope that our episode today has ignited a spark within you to create positive change in your own life and in the world around you. To learn more about how you can become a guest or supporter, head over to sparkingchangenow.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing, sharing, and leaving a review. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to me, and it helps me to continue producing content that sparks change in each of us and the world. You can find us on various platforms, including Google Play Store, Apple App Store, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Android TV, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to having you join me again next week on Sparking Change for Harmonious